We are.
Yes, we are.
All right, Kathy, we are live. I always like to, sorry, I always like to, oh, good. I got a post that said I was live. So therefore, I always like to check it to make sure that I actually am live. Because sometimes, you think you live and you get up there, you look and you ain't live. So, but I just want to, like I said, I'm not gonna keep you like very long, but I really believe that God kind of put this session together, and I definitely want to just really hear your heart about entrepreneurship. And we had a good conversation just preparing for tonight. Okay, so I already know what it's going to be like. So I just want to start by having you tell everybody who you are.
Awesome. Okay. Well, my name is Cathy Stewart, owner and broker in charge of Dreamers Realty. And I've owned the company for right at 12 years.
Mhm.
And it's my heart, it's my passion, the things that I'm exposed to and
Mhm.
that I'm allowed to be a part of in the lives of the families that I work with, which
Mhm.
is, as I said, my passion. So
Mhm.
um, I'm not even really sure where to start at, other than, it's always been a dream of mine. For
Let's start
one,
right there.
okay.
So, Dreamers Realty is the name of your brokerage, and
Yeah.
and let's start by everybody just congratulating this me. The first Black woman in Rock Hill to be a broker. That's a big thing. I mean, like that's a big thing. Like your name is gonna be here like forever.
Yeah. Well, I never really like broadcast it out like that.
Right.
When I realized it, I was like, wow, but I just allowed it to do what it does, kind of sort of.
Mhm.
And so when people find out, then they be like, wow, why don't you like, use this as a part of marketing, a marketing tool or advertising tool or whatever. But
Mhm.
it just never um, came to me to do that because again, my
Okay.
focus, is the
The dream.
families that I work with. Yeah. And I
Right.
never saw it as, like this. And I'm not trying to like, walk in false humility or be falsely humble or anything.
Right.
But it just never was that thing that I wanted to just use like that. But yeah, but if I'm about to be vice president.
Right. Right. But so Dreamers, where did the name Dreamers Realty come from? And I remember you said it was just always a dream of mine. I want you to share kind of where that vision came from, because the one of the reasons that I had you here
Right.
is because I think the Bible talks about where people lack vision, or where there is no vision, the people perish.
Yeah.
And perish just means they're cut off from their inheritance. They're cut off from what's rightfully theirs. They're cut off
Mm.
from a lot of things. And part of the struggle to me of an entrepreneur is to get into the place where the vision is working through you. You're working to achieve and accomplish vision and not just working for money or something small that can be achieved in other ways, but you're really fulfilling what you believe is a God given purpose in your life. And you said that this has always been a dream of yours. And I want you to just go back to you being a child and
Right.
kind of share that story with us.
Okay. So for the most part, I have always been called a dreamer. Um, always daydreaming. But when those things really started to come to focus, it's when people, some people really started to take a look. And not just me
Mhm.
saying it and it happening, but having like witnesses. Like, yeah, I was with her when she said that, and look at her. So, one of the well, actually twice, but the one that we're going to talk about tonight is when I was like 12, and we would
Mhm.
like walk from my neighborhood, which was pretty pretty hard neighborhood. and to through these other neighborhoods to get to like the store that we would go shopping at or window shopping or whatever.
When you say
So,
hard meaning racist or
well,
gay?
no, like distressed.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you're from Connecticut. So down here it would be more they used to call where I live Dodge.
Okay. But
DOD.
you gotta get out of Dodge, right?
So and we would walk and we would see the fenced in yards and the all brick homes, and this particular one had a screened in porch, and I could just see myself like, having company over, entertaining my friends, cooking out, family,
Mm-hmm.
everybody over. And I was like, I'm going to live in that house one day. I'm going to live in that house. And then my friend that was with me at that time, she was like, okay, and I'm going to get that one. So fast forward 13 years later, 13, 14 years later, I ended up in that house. Now that's a
Mm.
whole story all by itself. But
I love it.
um, yeah, so at that time, newly divorced, 3 kids, um, single but dating, and later ended up marrying the guy that I was dating. But yeah, God saw fit to put me in that house, and the agent took me there. I mean, I literally almost passed out. And there's like a little mini documentary that talks about it in a little bit more detail. But that
Mm-hmm.
was one of the dreams, and it's one that I share. But just like ever since I can remember, you know, I would dream it, and somewhere along the line, even now, it would come to play. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have my own business. I'm gonna manage my own business. Um, I took the business management courses, got the degrees and all that, and still worked, in a couple of different other companies, but always with my side thing of my own.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I feel like you are speaking to my heart, right? Because, and I talked to Pastor D about this,
Yeah.
and I said, do you know, when I was maybe 6 years old, I would see myself at 40.
Yeah,
Like, I knew how my life was going to unfold. So it
absolutely.
wasn't like it was being lived out and I was shocked at
Right. No.
how it turned out. Like, I knew that I was going to have kids after 30.
Mhm,
I knew that when I had kids, I was going to be an entrepreneur.
mhm.
And I saw it because I remember being I don't have a lot of dreams because I'm telling you, when I'm asleep, I'm asleep. I
Oh,
don't
I
have a lot of
dream
dreams,
nightly.
but I have a lot of open visions.
Yeah.
And I saw 2 kids running from home from the school bus, and I was in the kitchen and I was working from home. And I knew that I was an entrepreneur. So what happens is these desires will come, and when they manifest, they will manifest a vision that I had way earlier. And I look at my daughter. I tried to post something to my story tonight, and she's the same way. She sees herself in the future. And that's why when I make decisions, I can make them for the future because I already know what's in my spirit, what I saw, so I know what needs to happen.
Woo.
It ain't in my brain. Like, it's not intellectualism. It's not anything that I can conceive. I just know in my spirit I need to be moving in this direction because that's the direction of that vision.
See,
And
and
I
that's
feel like you get that. You get
oh,
that.
I get can you imagine? Like, I mean, my heart is just elated just even talking to you now, right? But the languaging and the wording that we're using,
Yes.
and it just sounds like this is normal as
Right.
get up and close the front door. Get this business.
And
Um,
this is and
take
this is
this
one of the
class.
reasons that you have to be around people that think like this, because when I was 20, I thought something was wrong with me.
Me
And
too.
I was like, everybody, okay, see? And I was, and see, this is why I homeschool Aubrey, because I see myself in her. And I'm like, I want her to be in an environment where I can cultivate that gift. I
Yeah,
don't want her to be in an environment where she is made to feel crazy because,
that's
like,
the word.
yeah, like, because I remember, like, I like, even when it came to school. So
Mhm.
when I graduated from high school, I graduated early. I got a full scholarship, and people were like, "You got straight A's?" And I'm like, yes, I do my work. And they're like, when? Because you hang out with us. I'm like, as soon as they give it, I go home and get it done because I already know it's something going to come up and I'm going to be preoccupied, but then I'm already done. But here's the thing. When you are around people that don't have a vision and you're kind of thinking ahead, you feel like, well, why am I not in the moment? Like, why am I not like people are focused on today and having a good time today? It's like my mind is years from now. Like I tell people,
5 years.
right. You know what I'm working for, Cathy? And this is what I want to ask you. You know what I'm working for? I kid you not. And I tell people this all the time. When my kids have kids, I want to be able to buy a house in whatever city they settle in and be able to come there and take care of the grandkids, come back and forth. Oh, you just had a baby? I'm going to pay your bills for a year. Don't even worry about it. You take the year off, you rest, you get to your family because I know that the legacy that God gave me, it ain't for me, it's for them and their generations.
That's it. Your children's children.
The children's children. This has nothing to do with me. So when I move in business, I'm not moving for money. I'm not trying to get paid. I'm trying to build something that God can use. I'm trying
It's
to
not even a motivator. Money is not even a motivator. And that's another thing that will have people thinking you're crazy. But guess what God blessed, right? He blessed that thing because he know that it's not, that the money is not a motivator. So I'll have clients, I promise you, and my husband can attest to this. We can be riding, right? And there'll be like a need that's coming up. And he'll be like, well, don't even be sweating it. I'll get that call. Somebody from, well, this guy was from Jersey, I think, saw a house on the internet, saw my picture. He liked my eyes. He said, you just have an honest face. I have a cash money. I have a check. I'll be down there 2 days. I'm flying down, buying that house. And it's just not even a big deal like that. And I just see it for what it is. I know it's God. And I know that's him making provision, and you were talking about like the class work. Like I was one, I never studied. I didn't have to. I had this mind that would just record it and I could just play it back. And straight A's. Now, even though I got pregnant when I was 17. I was out of school. I remember I was out of school 14 days. I went right back to school, graduated with my class. I mean, but the things that I got from the people that I was around at that time was that I wanted to be more than my surroundings, wanted to be, thinking I was this and thinking. I'm like, I don't think any of what I am.
I don't even think about myself. I'm too preoccupied with the vision. I'm trying to get the vision to manifest. Listen, Cathy. So I always tell people this story. So, when I graduated from college when I was 20. I started smoking weed around the time I was 20.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know why I started smoking weed?
To calm your brain.
Yes. I'm like, if I can just get you to shut up.
Your brain.
If I can just get you to stop, planning and, laying out scenarios. And that's why it's easy for me to develop discipline when I need it, because the vision, most people, the vision gives you all of the resources, all of the tools, all of the anointings that you need to bring it to pass. So my thing is, what I want to get entrepreneurs to understand is have a vision. Understand when we say, why are you doing this? What is why? What is your why? I don't care about your why. I want to know what's the vision. Right. Because the vision is what's going to cause you to have strength. It's going to cause you to have discipline. It's going to cause you to be able to persevere when things are going haywire. My first real estate transaction, I'll never forget it. And I'm going to tell you how good God is. It was a $7,200 commission. And something happened with this lady and she went into foreclosure while we was under contract. And Lord, and then we got ready to close and she was about 15,000 short, maybe 17,000 short, because the commission was 14 between me and the other realtor. It was my listing, and I was new. So everybody was like, "You didn't tell her she had to pay the mortgage?" I was like, "I didn't know that I had to. I kind of thought that was understood. You still live in the house." Anyway, they were like, "You didn't do a selling that sheet with her." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what that is, but whatever." It was a referral from a friend. It was, very quickly. So what happened was the other agent was like, "If you don't close on this house, we're gonna sue your client." I'm like, "For what?" They're like, "For
Preach.
non-performance of contract,
Yeah.
whatever, whatever." So she came to me, the other agent, and she said, "Listen, I got a way that this will work." She said, "It's my mother-in-law, so I really want her to have this house. I'll give up my commission if you give up yours. Then she'll be about 3,000 short to get in this foreclosure stop, so we can go ahead and do this." And I said, "Well, listen, here's how this gonna work. You got to cut me my check. I got to get my check cut to me, and then I will give it to you. Right?
Yes.
I don't want you to take it without my ability to give it, because I gotta sell it. I can't. I gotta have it in my possession, and then I gotta release it to you, right?" So I said, "I'll do it," but I said I would do it just because that's just what you do, right?
Mhm.
So I called her. I'm like, "Well, we're gonna do this, and you have to bring 3,000." And she was like, "Well, I ain't got it." Well, listen, girl, everybody got skin in the game. You better find it. Right? You better find it. So I started talking to a couple agents in my office, and they like, "Yeah, I wouldn't have did that." And I'm like, "Okay, so you wouldn't have did it, but if you didn't do it, she wouldn't close for
It
you
wouldn't happen.
anyway." And I'm like, "But why would you not do it, just to be a jerk, right?" And then when I gave it to her, I felt really good about it, right? Because she was hurting, and God said she had been praying to get out of this house. Like, the house was hurting her; she couldn't afford it.
Girl.
And when I gave it to her, and I felt like that was like the thing that opened the door for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's it.
it was the thing that just like, okay, you are really in a position now where you have proven that it's not about the money. Because if
Now I
it's
can
about the
trust
money,
you.
now I can trust
Now
you.
I can
And
trust
that
you.
the
Yeah.
vision was I was going to be $1 million a month producer anyway. So this was a little change in the bucket. This little
Trying to take
$300,000 change in the bucket. I'm like,
trying
I
to
got a
take
vision for
what was
something bigger.
coming. Yes.
So I want to talk to you on that lane, because we had a conversation today about giving up the small things so
Yeah.
we can stick to the vision. Talk about
Right.
that, and then I'll tell my side of that.
Girl, I'm telling you, each transaction comes with its own, right?
Right, right,
So
right.
first couple of years, first 5, 6, 7 years or whatever, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years,
Uh-huh.
I lose track. But
Right, right,
the thing was, if I could do it, I did it.
right.
I took part in this transaction, all over the place. And so just recently, what God had me to do, and I'm so thankful, was to um, fine tune the vision, right?
Uh-huh.
To where
Uh-huh.
I wasn't just doing listings and doing commercial. What the one that I do a whole lot, land deals, but just to do residential.
Mhm.
And the niche, even with that, was first time home buyers for one,
Mhm.
working with
Mhm.
families,
Mhm.
couples that were um, maybe even living together, and wanted to be
Mhm.
married. So a good part of what I do now, really about 95%, and it's 95% referral. I mean, you
Mhm.
won't see, like I
Yes.
just went on this whole marketing strategy a little bit, and put some stuff out
Mhm.
there. But
Mhm.
prior to that, you know, 80% of my business was referrals.
Right.
I just did one deal. It was like a third generation down that I
Mm.
was working with from a referral. It's like, you're gonna have to work with Miss Cathy because, whatever. Now, given that also, I do realize I am not for everybody. I realize that straight
You
up.
better preach. You
I
better
am not
preach.
for everybody and everybody ain't for me. And,
And
and I'm
everybody
good
ain't for
with
me.
it. I'm
Right.
good with it because those that he sends, and you'll see it,
Yeah.
sometimes
You
God,
know.
send me another,
Right.
and he'll
Correct.
do it. Yeah.
Right.
But what I'm gonna be coming with might not necessarily be what you used to, you
Right.
know. But that's the way that he has it set up, and that's the way I have to operate. I have to
Right.
be, we talked about being unique and authentic and genuine
And
in
set
that
apart, girl.
in that, that he
Right.
has called you to. If you're doing anything different, it ain't gonna work. And even if it work, it
Nope.
ain't gonna be right.
It ain't gonna
And
be
you
right.
don't know it. You're
And the
gonna know it.
vision, and the Bible says that the vision will speak and not lie.
Yeah.
So I had to recently redo, I'm not going to say my vision statement, but basically to change the way I communicated to people.
Mm.
So I've always said jokingly, I thought people kind of got it as a joke that I don't work with buyers.
Oh
Now
yeah.
here's the thing. I told you now, the reason why I don't my business is seller focused. Let's just say that. I'm not going to say that I don't work with buyers.
Right.
The reason why my business is seller focused is because when you understand real estate transactions, listings lead to leverage.
Period.
I'm all about leverage. Period. Point blank.
Period.
Put
It has to happen.
a dot right there.
It has to happen. Yeah. It
Right.
has to be that.
So my thing is, if listings lead to leverage, I'm automatically concerned with the high thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sacrifice the low thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let that go. And I'm going to bless somebody else with that.
Right.
Because that's not my vision.
That's it.
Nothing wrong with buyers. I love buyers. Mm-hmm. But the buyers have to come to me. I don't go after them.
No.
If they come to me, I'm going to handle my business because I do good business. Buyer, seller, anybody. I do good business, right? Hey, Cathy. But at the end of the day, it could take you 60 hours to work with a buyer.
Yeah.
And that 60 hours, I could work with 10 sellers and make 10 times the commission, 10 times the impact, 10 times the referral, 10 times the influence, 10 times my sign, name, number. So my thing is, when it comes to basic math, basic math, and knowing that I have a vision for my life, and I need my time to fulfill my vision, I'm after a time increase. I'm not after money. What I'm working for is my time. I'm working to get to a point where I can cash checks without
other check.
So much time, right? That's why I believe in passive income. So my vision. So I told you to get your vision statement up, and I don't know a lot of people that have a personal vision statement for their life, but I have it right there, and I have my personal vision statement written to the top of all my notebooks, right? Because I want to be reminded every day. This is my personal vision statement, and this is why I got a notebook for everything. It says my vision, my goal is to be everything God created me to be and to make the imprint I was intended to make without ever being hindered by money or lack thereof, time or lack thereof, or influence. I desire to impact and influence the world around me and inspire others to do the same. Now, can you honestly, when you see me, is that not what I do?
That's what you do.
Like, that's my whole heart. Like, my whole heart is, I don't want nobody's vision for their life to be impacted by money. That's why I'm going to show you how to get this money.
Yeah.
I want nobody's vision for their life to be impacted by time. That's why I'm going to show you how to get this money in less time.
That's it.
Nobody's vision to be hindered by lack of influence. That's why I'm going to show you how to live at your God-given purpose and have influence, because there is something you were created to do that if you at your job every day and you tired every night, you're not going to get it done. And then the people that were waiting on you, the manifestation, they're groaning. Romans 8 says they're groaning, waiting for you to manifest. I'm like, you won't manifest. You won't manifest.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You know, and she said, I do, you know, I believe and I know that we're all called to the different things. But even as they are different, they're the same. When you go at it, like you were saying, it's the way you going at it, the way you receive it, the way he's sending you out there, you know, and you go for it. And, you know, another thing too, with what I do, you know, even in that market now, I said that that's my market niche, so to speak, that does not mean I don't refer out these other things as they come. So, I will refer it out
Right.
and then get a percentage of the commission that way. So that's a good Vaughn was saying passive
What,
income I saw somewhere.
which brings me to my next point.
Yeah.
When you have a vision, you can understand that I'd rather have 50% of $100,000 in
Yes.
referrals than with no time invested.
That's the part.
And
That part.
100%. Yeah, because my thing is my time. My time is what I'm after, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because my
And
babies
energy.
are
Yeah.
and my bandwidth, my brain, my mind, right? My babies are on the time clock. I'm like, listen, I got 2 more years of this. 2 more years of this, and it got to be a wrap. As far as what I'm trying to accomplish. So when I looked at real estate, I always tell people I didn't choose real estate for money. I chose real estate, and especially I chose the brokerage I'm at because the purpose of real estate is to fund your dreams.
That's it.
That was going to be the thing to help me to accomplish the vision in the quickest amount of time, and not just as an agent, as an investor, as a wholesaler, as a coach, as a mentor. There are so many different opportunities for when I look at who I am as a person, for me to manifest that in this industry. And that's why I look at you and I'm like, you have, to me, when I learned about your brokerage and stuff, and I look at your life and your spirit, and you be unbothered, honey. Like, I don't even think you realize how unbothered you be. Like, you be so unbothered that unbothered don't even. If I look up unbothered in the dictionary, I would see Cathy's face right there, like, And when you told me you own a brokerage, I'm like, a whole brokerage? Yeah. I'm like, you don't even seem like you can deal with, like all of the craziness that brokers deal with. And you like, because I don't. Like, and I'm not. Right? But the vision is what recharges you like that. And for me, when I look at you and I see you do your plays, we did your book together.
Yes.
And I look at all of that stuff and I'm like, Cathy got a vision.
It drives it. It drives it. That's where it's coming from. That's exactly where it's coming from. It comes, and with my tagline is more than just real estate.
It's more than just real estate.
It's more than real estate. It fuels those things that you just named that will be as impactful. And I'm actually redoing that. Thank you, but I'm redoing that book. And coming out, I mean, I've got videos. God has sent some guys that's gonna work on a film with me, some documentaries, all of that stuff, but fueled through Dreamers Realty.
Right. And that's the thing that people don't realize. And people say to me, oh, you do a lot. And I'm like, I'm walking in my purpose. It looked like a lot, but it's really not. It's not. I'm like, listen, I'm in the bed pretty much every night by 10 o'clock, right?
Oh, yeah.
So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is I ain't up all night stressed. I am, at the end of the day, I put my hand to the plow, but I put it there with strategy, with intention, with purpose, and with faith. And I know that the vision, that just as important and impactful as the vision is to me, it ain't even my vision. It's God's vision. He cares more about it than me.
Listen, so you don't think he gonna make that thing come on through?
Right.
Yes.
And I look at things, and I think, one of the things that I have developed here lately, and I'm really working out of that because I know it's the enemy, is I always feel like, and this is lately, like in the past maybe 6 months, and I think it has a lot to do with COVID. We have to detach from that. It's like you're not doing enough, right?
Oh,
and I'm like, and it's never a competition with anything. But I'm like, you got so much more, right? And I'm like, you could be doing more. But then I realized it. I said, you know what? Here's the thing. You put your hand to the plow when you can. You rest when you need to. You go hard when you can. You fall back when you need to. And God will pick up the slack.
There you go.
He don't need you to be doing all of that.
That's
so it be going on in my mind. And in my mind, I be shutting it down at the same time. But then something always happens. So I was talking to Kate in my inbox today, and she was saying I'm just super proud of you with the 30 under 30 for my office. And I said to myself, just last week, I'm like, I'm used to having 10 listings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you only got 10 things under contract, but you don't have 10 listings. Like, you better go out. And I took 4 listings last week. Now, those haven't hit the market. So, but I'm like, you better go get 15 listings this week because you need to hit over 20, period. Like, that's where you need to be. And then I said then that thing came out. And I was like, you're doing enough. You're doing enough.
That's
What's
it.
better? Like, you good, buddy.
What do you
yes. I'm like, come on now.
He'll tell me, you know, when that does, and it will. And sometimes for me, it's fueled by what I'm listening to, what I'm looking at. So like when you like this calm.
It might be me listening to gangster rap while I'm working out. That might have a lot to do with it. It might. I be needing to be listening on my workout.
You'll be pumped. But he'll be like, Cathy, it's not the last time. This is not the last time. There will be another time, you know, when I start to feel that way. And then I guess he'll feel sorry for me or something. He'll just like chuck me a little something. I'm like, all right, God, I got you.
Exactly.
You know, yeah, he'll do something sweet, special for me. But, you know, those gates, man, those ear gates, the eye gates, just the people that man, like you and, you know, D and, you know, so many people. I don't want to even start naming folk, but that are on my like call list. Like I just get my truck and call. And if we do not Pat Mill, I can't leave her out. So many people that I can call and just like chat. Like one of the things that Sana said, she was like, you know, one thing she loved about home, and that's what I love about my home, is that when I'm here, I'm not on. O-N. I am not on. It's like my, you know, come in that door. That's why I say I'll go out to my car. I'll be in my truck, right? Talking or whatever. I don't bring it in my house. This right here is my sanctuary. When I say my quiet, peaceful space, and it has to be a certain way. It has to have a certain atmosphere. It has to have that quiet. You know, and yours too. Oh my God, your house. Man, your house literally like put us to sleep. Like everybody's like, it was just so quiet and calm.
I be praying over this house. I be like, God, when people come, you know, like literally, like I've always been like that because it matters to me where people end up at, and I feel like God we're His representatives. He ain't coming down from heaven to direct people.
No,
He got you. And you need to be the one being the example. You need to be the one inspiring and encouraging. So when people, that's why I like to cook. Like I don't necessarily like love, like I do love cooking, but I really love it because I want people to feel like somebody cares enough about them to care about their belly. Yeah. Like, you know, like to want them to have good food.
Yeah. And I'm used to cooking a lot. So normally if I'm in there cooking, you know, somebody coming, like I like to invite folk, you know. And again, that's my way of, you know, showing love and spending time.
It is.
Yeah. But that home, man, I tell you.
So I want to just go back to the vision on this. And Brenda, you said this earlier, but you said I was going to post something today, and I'm going to post it when I get off of this, and I'm going to tag you in it. But I said something to Brenda. I got married in January 2012. But I said to Brenda in March or April of 2011, I was not dating anyone. I had not dated anyone for 7 years.
Girl.
I was just focused on God and traveling. Like I didn't date anybody, right? For 7 years, right? And I said to Brenda, I said, I'm going to be married before this time next year.
Yeah, I remember you saying
that. I said, I'm just telling you, because when it happens, I just need somebody to bear witness that I said it. I said, because I don't want it to happen. And then I'm like, oh, I knew that would happen. And people are like, oh, yeah, of course. No, I said, I wasn't dating anybody. There was nobody in sight, right? So I got engaged to somebody else. I think in like August. And we broke up in like November. So,
Oh, yeah.
Pastor John was like, listen, put him on a hot seat. He was like, you over 30. You ain't got time to be playing. Put this dude on a hot seat. You don't date. You married. If he want to be with you, he need to marry you. Like
Exactly.
his shotgun stuff. So, we put him on a hot seat. He didn't make the count. And then I met my husband, right? I met my husband November 20th, 2011. And on our third date, we got married, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, my mother was like, are you crazy? She was like, listen, I've always known you to make good decisions. She's like, but this baffles me. She's like, you can date him. Like, you don't have to marry him. And what I was trying to get her to understand is I already had the vision for this.
I know.
This ain't something like you just seeing this. I had the vision for this before he came into my life. When he came, it just, my spirit was like, this is it. And I'm like, if this is it, and God say it's it, where we at? Like, where we at? Like, I do. And we got married, and I'm telling you, we're about to, it's 2020, we about to be 10 years in. This is our 9th anniversary coming up. Yeah. And we just all right. And he's still all right. Shoot.
Carrie, my guy. But I think sometimes, like if I had to share with my husband what I saw, like even a year prior, right? It's like what I saw us going into, like we were friends. We were still friends, but we were friends.
Right.
And I tell him now, like 30 years later, that like I liked him in high school.
Oh yeah, I forgot y'all went to high school.
Yeah, back when we were in high school. But then when I saw him again, it was and I started liking him, but I never told him. I didn't tell anybody that I was really liking him, right? Or feeling him. I was feeling him. And so crazy stuff happened. I actually got pregnant by my prior husband, like a crazy night. So everything that I saw was put on hold for like a whole entire year.
But it came to pass.
It came to pass. And I was sitting there like, and then people would be like, different things would happen, different situations would come on there like, why in the world are you even, still feeling him, so to speak.
Right.
But I was like, yeah, that's it. That's part of it. And remember when we were talking about, and I believe this, I know everybody has their own belief when it comes to people that are just perfect for your life. The people, just like we know what we were expecting years to come.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you needed for that, because you know how you were going to be. We know how we are already. I'm like, I can be calm, but I can go straight to 100 in no time. So my husband, your husband, is that one that's quiet, so to speak, keeps me grounded, reminds me, look, Cathy.
My husband keep my feet on the ground. I tell you, I only come home because he's here. Like, if my husband wasn't here, girl, I would have lived in China. Every place that I visited that I liked, girl, I would have picked my kids up and moved there.
But they don't interrupt that part of us again, because we already knew who we were. Our unique, authentic, genuine self. We already know this. Even now we know this. We know what we need, what we have to have in the way of our husband, our spouses.
Because we're visionaries. And see, that's the part that, we're talking about relationships. Mm-hmm. We kind of segue into that, but this
I didn't mean to get away from it.
No. This is good because it still applies to the way we did business. Like you just said, we already know what we need, right? Yeah. That's why you can come into an industry and say, I already know how I'm going to function here. I already know how I'm going to function here.
That part.
So to me, I don't ask a lot of questions. Like my husband asks me all the time. He's like, did you ask this question? I'm like, no. And he's like, why? I'm like, because I already know. How do I going to happen? I don't really have to ask. Like, I mean, sometimes I forget to ask because in my mind, I
It's
already know.
already done.
I
Oh,
already
it's
know.
already done.
Yeah, I already know.
Yeah.
So when I go into and I think that breeds a level of I guess what people will call confidence. But to me, it's not really confidence
It's
because
not arrogant. It's not an arrogant
I wouldn't
confidence.
even call it confidence. You know what
It's
I
the
would call it?
surety.
It's Kathy. You better get out of my
That's
head
it.
because I was going to say it's a blessed assurance. You
That's
hear me?
it.
It's
Mhm.
an assurance, and it
Mhm.
has nothing to do with me.
Mm-mm.
I know who God is.
Woo.
I know that what He says is true. I know the impressions that the Holy Spirit speaks to me is true. So I can go on a listing appointment. When I walk in the door, I can tell you if I'm going to get it. And you can give it to somebody else. I'm going to keep up with you because I know that if God says mine, you're going to circle back and do business with me.
I've seen it
And,
happen.
and at the same time, that's why I work to be great at what I do. Because
Yes.
when you do business with me, I want you to know that you was blessed. I tell people, I'm like, what separates me from other agents is that I look at the whole transaction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at, listen, I see closing day and I work backwards. Okay.
That's
So
it.
you don't even have to worry about what if, what if, what if. I got all of that in here.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing mapped out. I might not have it on paper, but I could tell you what's going to happen to the point where I started putting up reserves for situations that I think might come up because I
Mm-hmm.
know that if it come up, we're going to need X amount of dollars. I already got that. Right?
Right.
Because I'm not going to let nothing get in the way of getting you to the closing table. Once you get me, you going to get your money. You ain't
That's
got to
it.
worry about that. We gonna get to the promised land. I'm like Joshua and Caleb out here.
And I
We gonna
guarantee
get
you,
to the
people
promised
know
land.
that. They know it.
Right.
They know it. Yeah.
And I'm like, working with sellers gives me more control over that
Mm-hmm.
because I can look at and assess their house and I can assess the need and I can assess what could come up and I have more control over that. And I
Right.
can speak confidently to what is going to happen.
They
See, the
trust
buyer side, you don't have that much control because you could quit your job. You could the house we bid on could have a mold issue. It could have faulty wiring. Like I don't know all of that
you. Right.
about what we're going into. I'm dealing with that on a case by case basis. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
I want to go into a situation where I'm empowered. Now, this is why to me, everything has to like when I talk about business and I talk about biblical entrepreneurship,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, well, what does the Bible have to do with anything? I'm like, because the Bible will tell you what God said. The Bible is the source of your faith. It'll tell you how to believe. It'll tell you how to go into situations and talk.
Mm.
I've said things to people that I'm like, yeah, that ain't me. I don't even know that, but it came out, and I'm
Yes.
like, listen, that was God. He know that because he knows you. He knows what you need, and this is not about me. When people think of business, they think of you know when the check's gonna come in. You know what I think of being faithful. My checks,
Yes.
my checks cannot be stopped. The way my money is gonna come, I don't even know if God's gonna bring it through real estate, but I know it's gonna be here at an appointed time.
Don't happen.
I know it's gonna be here at
Don't
an
happen.
appointed time. Yeah, so it is, and see that's what you know what it reminds me of when God said, I think it was to Peter, he said, "Go pay the taxes." He said, "We don't got no money."
We'll
He
get it
said,
from.
"Listen, go look in that fish mouth. The fish caught it. Like God gonna do something like that." I'm like, it's gonna listen. The way this is, I just try to be faithful over what is in my hands. So I do budget my money. I do calculate my expenses. I do project for my increase in sales, etc. Because that's just natural faithfulness. But I really believe that God gonna do something so new, so different, and
You just
like
hit
I
it.
said,
That's it. He
yeah,
keeps
listen.
telling me that he's doing a new THANG thing.
That's what I had, and that's why I told you I posted that this morning. I said God's gonna do a new thing. Like I'm like I don't even want to. I don't
Don't you
even.
see it?
Do you know that I try not to even get locked into what I believe? And when I
Mm.
say locked into what I believe, like I try to keep my focus on what God is gonna do, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I
That's
don't
it.
want to focus on how He's gonna do it because I don't want to get locked into thinking that I need to go in that direction for it to happen. I want to I can
Yeah.
go left when God tells me to go right, and I trust that God will redirect me quick enough for me to get right quick, so I don't miss it.
That's how much he loves us.
That's how much He loves us, and He loves all of us
Oh,
the
girl.
same way, and it's just such a beautiful thing. But I'm telling you, Kathy, when I spoke to you today, you blessed my heart, and
Woo.
then you said that you had a dream that we had this conversation.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yes.
you better stop, because I was like, I'm gonna talk about this vision. I said, and I'm gonna do it myself because I don't really know a lot of people that have like long visions. Like I said, to me, it's scary to me that I am at this age working at this stage, and I already see my children. They're 4 and 8 as wives with children, and I can see what they need as moms, and I'm like, okay, what you gonna eat for dinner today though? Like, like, like what we eating for dinner today, God?
You
Like,
sound like my husband. Like
I'm
what
like,
we like.
that's what my husband be saying. He be like, okay, I heard all of that. What we eating for dinner? And I'm like, okay, all right. Like, let me get. So I'm trying to find that balance. I really am.
Yeah.
It is a daily press for me.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
Just be.
I feel like my life is not my own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get to fall back because I feel like falling back.
Right.
I get to do the will of God. Period.
That's it.
I'm energized when I do the will of God.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do nothing else.
And it's who you are. You
It is
know,
who I am.
sometimes I have to calm myself down to,
Mm-hmm.
like to say, or like we say, to be in the moment, to just be. Like I'm sitting at a dinner
Okay.
table. I don't need to be in the retreat October 2021
Right,
a
right,
year
right,
later,
right,
but
right.
I'm there and I'm experiencing now I get to do it again, but even as it's being planned, I'm experiencing the love and the joy and I'm sharing it with people. Man, y'all, I can only tell you, how my experience was and how it just helped shape my life going forward,
Mm-hmm.
from that experience. So, and I'm seeing these women. Remember, I shared it with you 4 years ago. We
Mm.
were on a stage, or was elevated up. I don't know if it's a stage or not. But remember, it was these droves of women were coming in, were
I remember
flowing in.
seeing that.
And if we were just
Mm,
ministering, just like some of it was just a word,
mm, mm.
strength, joy. You will have peace. You're healed. You're going to be healed. Healing is possible. I know it's possible. Okay, I'm going on. I'm going to
That's all
2021.
right. That's
I'm
all
going
right.
into 2021. But I know healing is possible because
Yes.
I've been healed. I've been where you've
Say
been.
that.
I
You
know,
better say that. Say
so I
that.
know and once you experience a healing like that and know that that
Yes.
it's possible, you want everybody to have it. Why not? Why would you not want
Mm,
everyone to be healed and
mm,
operating in whatever it is that God has for you,
mhm,
you
mhm,
know? So,
mhm.
but that's what I saw. But I can pull myself back to the moment now and know, okay, it's 4:48:13. I'm on the
Right,
realtorpreneur and
right.
we're
Yeah,
discussing.
let me get it together, girl. Yeah, but it's a
Woo.
blessing because I think that those gifts are what make you an awesome broker. I think that those gifts are what make your company stand out. And I remember one time we were talking and you were saying how there was another house that I think you listed it or something like that, and something supernatural happened. But those kind of things happen all the time. And
Girl,
people look at it like she do good business, and I'm like, part of it is just God.
that-
It's
you better
really just God.
hard. You better put
Yeah,
oh man. It'll help you sleep at night.
it is.
I tell you
It
that
is.
because
It
real
is.
estate is not for the faint of heart.
No,
Um,
oh, girl,
it is
girl,
not for the faint of heart.
Jesus.
I don't know whoever started that rumor, but let me
Mm.
fix that right now. It is
And
not.
whoever said it was easy money, like it is not.
No.
It will test your spirit. It'll test your gangster. It'll
Yeah.
test everything. Like, and
Yeah.
here's the thing. One of the reasons why I said that I was talking to a mom friend today, and I said one of the things that reasons that I homeschool my daughters because I see a lot of the gifts that I have in
Mhm.
her. I haven't really, and I think because she's older, because I'm starting to see more of her personality.
Oh, okay.
When they're younger, they kind of just really playful. Some things you see, some, it's hard. But what I said is the reason why I started smoking weed and ultimately being addicted to drugs
Mhm.
was because I wanted to be like everybody else,
And we
right?
weren't
And
called to be.
and I
Yeah.
wasn't called to be like that. Here's the thing. This is what the enemy don't tell you. And I said this on the Bible study this morning. The worst part of deception, especially self-deception, is it's not a full lie. There's an element of truth. So
Mhm.
you can't just throw it away. You gotta find the truth.
Yeah.
You gotta find the thread of truth.
So true.
But the other
Mhm.
part is you're wrong, but you think you're right, but you're wrong. So because you think you're right, nobody can tell you that you're wrong, and because nobody can tell you that you're wrong, you can't get right. Right.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
what I learned through this is the part of my life where I can say I really did not love myself. I hated myself, kind of so to speak,
Mhm.
was at the times when I was trying to function in everything that I wasn't because I wanted to be
Oh.
normal. When I just said, you know what, girl, you are a whole situation. You ain't for everybody. You are a lot.
And
And
it's
some
okay.
people just can't handle you, and you got to be okay with that. The ones that'll roll with you will. And
Mhm.
when I made that declaration to myself, and I said I'm gonna just be myself, because and I don't know how it happened for you, because it happens even now. People ask questions. See, that's how it started with me. They'll be like, "Why you
Mhm.
do that?" I never asked anybody those kind of questions. I never asked why you do that, what
Mm-mm.
made you do that. If I asked it, I'm asking with a paper and a pen because I really want to know. I'm not
Mhm.
asking to make you second guess. Like I remember doing things. People like, well, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And all of that stuff made me kind of feel like, yeah, why would you do that? Right? It just had me looking at myself. So then now, when I finally, and I probably was, I don't know, I got married at 30, I don't know, 2. So I probably was like 25, 26 when this happened,
Mhm.
and God had to deliver me from drugs. And I
Mhm.
said to myself, like, nobody bound you. You bound yourself,
Yeah.
right? Because you didn't accept yourself, and there's a reason. The way you are is a lot, but there's a reason that God
Mhm.
created you like that.
Mm.
Why don't you work on finding out the reason, right?
Mhm.
So if you can discover the reason, you can function in it better. And I say that because I watch my daughter and I see people do the same thing to her. They question her all the time. And I see her and she questions herself. So you know what
Mhm.
I do while she's home? I build her up,
Mhm.
right? I let her know it's okay to be like that. Like this girl, I tried to do a video tonight and post it. Like this girl taught herself how to ride a bike. Like she got to the point where now she don't even really ask us to teach her nothing because she wanted so bad that she gonna do it herself. Now, here's the thing: to the person that's sitting back not doing nothing, they're gonna say, why you do it,
Oh,
right? Why you like this? Why you like?" But guess what? Nobody questions her, right? Because the environment that she's in, these are
that's
parents
it.
that have the
That's the
same
part.
mindset.
Mhm.
They're pruning their kids' character to encourage people to be a
Mhm.
light in the dark world, and they encourage her. She encourages them, and God has really blessed us on that level. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I just want her to get to the point. And I told her last night. I said, I admire you, and I said, I admire you because I see a change in her since she turned 8, because I don't see her questioning herself as much. See,
It's
my
powerful.
thing is I'm gonna release you to the world that you can't hide. You can't. No, I ain't trying to hide you from the world. I'm
Mhm.
trying to make sure when you get out there that you everything that you need to be, that you a whole move, right? And see, like I said, it's different with her because that little one's a whole move on her own. Like I'm trying to scale her in. This one is a little different.
She
But
is
what I'm
totally
saying is,
different. Yeah.
yeah, man, listen. But I'm
Mhm.
saying that to say that even in business, you stand apart, Kathy.
Oh,
You
wow.
stand apart at Dreamers Realty.
That's
Like
it.
I listen, I'm trying to come up with a name for something I'm trying to build, and I'm like I can't. But the fact that you just say, you know what, I'm a dreamer,
That's
and this
it.
is a representation of me, and it's going to be dreamers, and that's what it is. And you, to me, you live a dream. when I
Yeah.
see you, I see I see myself in the future.
All right now.
I
Yeah.
do. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, listen,
You.
see, I see it. I see it. I see it. Like I see the acreages and the brokerages and
Woo.
the all the edges, right?
Yeah. And then with that creative side, that's fueling that creative side because you know, with the writing and the
And that's a
speaking.
passion for me. I
Yeah.
can't wait to get back to that.
You know, yeah. So it's like the way that God wires some of us, we'll have that like it's been like even brain, so to speak.
Hmm.
You have that analytical, that business side, but then he'll give us that side, the creative, which is my
Hmm.
outlet, which
Hmm.
really helps keep me on the even keel. To where in
Right.
my head I'll do a whole entire play around the song. I'll be sitting in the truck and I hear a song, I'm like, yeah, they'll be doing this and this scene and that whole entire ask Von because she's been in them enough to know. And we won't even have a script. The whole entire play is non-scripted. I
And
just
I
tell you what the
love
person
that.
is feeling, and how like this is the end that we need to get to. How you guys get there using who you are naturally, normally, your own self. Then that's how it happens. But no script. Okay,
No
here's the
script.
song, da 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 da. And they're like, okay, and then they just go into it. And we may practice, not even practice, we just get together and discuss it a couple of times, just discuss it out, talk it out. And we front and center.
Right. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a freedom in that.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people are bogged down with details.
I can't.
Right.
I'm
And
not the
now,
one you want to work with that then. I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah. And listen, I
Now there
feel
are
like
people for that though. Like,
there are people for that.
yeah,
That's
there are people
that's
for that.
that's
And thank God
that's
I
why
have
we
them.
gotta partner with those people.
Yes.
Right. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not the one.
I'm not that one.
I'm gonna give you the high level. All I need you to know is where we going, and don't
Mm,
ask me a lot of questions.
there you
Just,
go.
just my thing is you just trust me. I'm gonna get us there.
Trust me.
Just trust me.
That's it.
That's
I
what I tell
promise.
people.
And
I done got
I
to the
promise
point
we're
where
gonna get that. I
I
promise it's
promise
gonna
we're
happen.
gonna get there. That's what I tell people. I'm like, listen, trust me. I just like and I tell people and I joke with this part of my listening presentation. I said, listen, I know you interviewed a lot of other agents. Maybe have given you all this information. Here are my stats.
Hmm.
If you need numbers, but I'm gonna tell you person to person. I need you to. If you are a believer, I need you to hear from God to hear what the
Yes.
Spirit of the Lord say about trusting me. And I'm
Yes.
telling you that I'm good for the trust. The character is there. Whatever you were trying to accomplish, once I see that, because I
Yeah.
realized that, Brenda and I are doing a Bible study about the prophetic and faith and stuff like that. And I realized that part of my gift of faith is if you believe it and I can see it with you and I can believe it with you, I can push you and get that to happen. Because
Except for
the gift is that's to activate it. It's not me, it's just a gift. Right. So I'm like, I'm gonna get us there. And I'm
mm-hmm.
like, I can't say whether the road will be bumpy or not. I don't know. But here's what I tell you, we're gonna get there.
Gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. You can believe that. As sure as the day is long, it's gonna happen. Hey Jamita. And listen,
Hey,
Jamita,
Jamaica, where's
she
oh?
she is the one that introduced us.
That's my girl. See, remember we were talking about those puzzle pieces and being your own unique, genuine, authentic self, and
Mm-hmm.
how those pieces are the ones that come together. And if you're being something else or being a different type of a puzzle piece, then guess what? Our piece can't connect. Only because she was her. Well, okay, that's another story. It's another
I just
live.
love her. I
But
just love her.
because, yes, because of who she is and, it allows herself to be, all of these other connections could happen. For me,
Well,
anyway, I can't speak for anybody else, but yeah.
for me too, but I'm grateful and I love you and I just I think was the first time I saw you at her wedding. Was that the first time? Like I know we had connected and we would do the Bible study. I done did a Bible study with
Yeah,
everybody. I swear.
yeah.
I'm like, if we friends and I ain't did no Bible study, I done did a Bible study with every single. Like it's to the point where people be like, "Can we do a Bible study Friday?" I'm like, "Girl, I got 50. I got probably every week 7 Bible studies
Yeah.
scheduled with 7 different people. It's all good, but
I can't remember. I think you came at the Secret Wife launch first. And then she was married. I don't even remember. I know it's been about 4 years though. But
But I
yeah,
remember that
that wedding.
time, and it was just her wedding night when
That the
the
pre-wedding night.
man, that was so beautiful.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I'm grateful that God just allowed us to connect. And I know we're a little over. I try not to make these things longer than 45 minutes. I just looked up. I was like, it's 10:02. We got to get off here because
Oh my
I can
God.
talk and you can talk, but you normally be in the bed. I'm up
Yeah.
late because I be watching TV. I really be watching YouTube channels of people doing makeup. That's what I kid you not, all night I be watching, either
That's
listening to sermons from Dr. Stevenson or watching videos of people doing foundation. So that
mm-hmm.
is kind of like my jam right now. But thank you guys. And
Oh
we
yeah.
love you guys too. Thank you for hopping on, and then just tell them how to get in touch with you, and anything you want to say to end, please feel free to.
And I had a little card here, right? But website dreamersrealty.net. I'm at Dreamers Realty on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, not that much of a presence there, but the information is there. And Dreamers Realty 100 at gmail.com. That's the email address. 803-487-9918. Hit me up. Just inbox me, whatever you need to do. And I'll track you back down. But thank you. And thank you,
Well,
Chief.
thank
I
you.
appreciate this. This is great. Oh, it was so wonderful. So
We love
wonderful.
you ladies too. And the reason why I kind of, hey Angie, I started doing these videos and I told you this and then I'll end with this. I think when it comes to business, all pieces flow together. And I
Mhm.
think you have to understand that you don't exist in business, you exist in life, and then you show up in your business. You exist in life and you show up in your marriage. You exist in life and you show up in your parenting. So what
Yes.
I'm trying to see, what I'm
Yeah.
trying to show people is how the people that I know, how they're existing in every area of their life, but they're applying who they are, their gifts, their talent to their businesses, and they're winning
That's it.
because it's authentic to who they are. I had
That's
Angie in
it.
here last week. I'm like, listen, this girl clocking it, organizing people. I'm like,
Mhm.
listen, that's a gift.
Mhm.
Your gift, when the Bible says it will make room for you, he's not joking. He's not
Hi.
joking.
Yes, it will.
Whatever you are anointed to do,
Do
and
it.
if it's
Be
a
that.
visionary, get with people that have strong
Mhm.
analytical skills, but they're
Mhm.
so analytical they can't see the vision.
Mhm.
Partner together. See, because that's what I need. I need somebody that's super analytical but a doer,
Yes.
right? Because I'm not super analytical. I'm analytical just to the point that I need to get stuff done. If I can get it done without being analytical, I probably will. I get analytical when I have to, but I'm a
Ooh.
visionary. And details bore me. They get in the way.
Oh my gracious.
Just tell me where we going.
That's
I be
it.
saying, listen, I want somebody, and I know God's gonna send that person that when I speak, they just catch my heart.
Did you see my
Like,
post talking about that? I need a I
no,
dream of Genie type person that
stop.
just
Yeah. Like
go
when
back.
I speak, they're like, oh, okay, so you meant this. Like interpret in the spirit. Don't even listen to what I'm saying. Just check. I, girl, I was gonna post that today. I was like, when
I
people
did.
are talking, listen with the spirit of God. Don't listen to what they're saying. Listen to the spirit. Now, I ain't got that person yet, but they're
No.
coming. Well, actually, I do. Larissa's like that, and that's why we connect so well. There's not a lot of conversation between us, but
Mhm.
she observes and she knows me, and she knows me without me having to have told her who I was.
Yeah. Well,
You,
mine is
you get what I'm
coming.
saying? Right.
Yeah.
And now it makes me want to know her. So that's
Mhm.
how the relationship has grown because I'm like, she knows me. I need to know her. And it's a
Mhm.
beautiful thing. But now we need somebody too. So yeah, because we're both out there doing a lot.
See?
So
And that's how it happened with me.
both need somebody now. Yeah. But thank you, Cathy, for taking the time out of your schedule
Oh,
and
you're
tell Mr. Johnny we said hello. We love him. And you guys, please watch the replay. Please share this out and
yes.
stay connected. And we'll see you guys next week.
All right.